So today we're talking about the conventional deadlift. So what we want to do is we want to place the feet below the knees with the knees below the hips, so relatively in a straight line. And we're going to reach down by bending our hips and bending our knees at the same time, making a full grip. Looking closer at the feet, we want to cut the feet in half with the bar, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to use the shiny seal bit to guide us, and we're going to have the bar directly over the midfoot, and then reach down and grab the bar. From the side, the setup is roughly the same, except for now we want the knees to be below the hips and the hips to be below the shoulders. This is initiated by pushing the hips back first and then bending down the remaining weight using the knees. Keeping the bar close to the body, we're going to initiate the lift by driving the floor away from us. As we drive the floor away from us, we're going to stand up lovely and tall, okay, till our shoulders are over our hips and our hips are over our feet, so we're in a nice straight line. What you want to think about is pushing the floor away and then finishing with a really aggressive extension of the hips to lock up the bar. Own the position and slowly lower by doing an RDL on the way down as shown in the next rep. Lowering to below the knee, then bending the knees afterwards. From the front, the lift looks very similar, so what we want to do is we're into centile position again, okay? Keep the bar close to us, initiate by pushing the hips back and then bending with the knees, gripping the bar tight and pushing the floor away from us to stand nice and tall. Keeping our head up is a really good way of keeping the shoulders back, okay? And also thinking about showing any logos on our chest to someone in front of us. The next key point is when we're lowering down, we want to push the hips back first like an RDL. Once it's past the knees, you're going to bend the knees. So again, watching this next rep, hips go back, then we bend the knees. So the first common error is performing the deadlift like a squat. So here my knees and hips are very nearly in line, okay? And we're using too much knee bend as well on the way down. So as I go down, I push my knees out and the bar gets pushed away from the body. And on the way up, that means I'm using too much of the front of my thigh. What we want to do instead is perform it like this, okay? So when I set up, I'm going to push my hips back, and then any remaining distance I need, I'm then going to bend my legs. This will engage my big glutes and my hamstring muscles, the posterior chain, more so than the front side of us, which is the aim of the deadlift. So again, hips back, then bend down, and initiate the lift that way. So the next common error with a deadlift is actually starting with the barbell too far away from the body. So if you look, there's actually a big space between my shins and the barbell. Okay, the issue of this is this actually increases the torque on the lower back, so it puts far more stress on the lower back than is required. It actually makes the same load more difficult to lift than if performed correctly. So if you're struggling to increase weight, this actually might be one of the problems limiting you from improving your performance and potentially increasing injury risk. How do we fix this? Quite simply, pull the bar as close to the shins as you can without scraping it, okay? Think about closing any space under your armpits, okay? Closing them there. Imagine you're trying to hide something from someone else in the room. Pull the bar close, engage the lats, okay, the back muscles, and pull up strong. Don't let the bar roll away. Pull it in nice and tight, and push the floor away again. The final common error I see is rounding the spine during the deadlift. So the issue of this is it actually creates more stress than the exercise actually requires and can put a bit more unnecessary pressure on things like discs and muscles around the area and may lead to instances such as back pain. So what we want to think about when we're doing this is we want to think about initiating with our hips back as we've been practicing before, slightly looking ahead as well, keeping our chin up. This will help set the shoulders already. Then from there, we're going to actually deliberately pull the shoulder blades together, create as much tension in the upper back as we can, and hide any space under our armpits, like in the last example. Holding this position, lots of tension, we're going to push the floor away and bring our hips through. This often is down to lack of awareness, okay? So sometimes just telling someone how to do this might fix the problem, but also starting up from a higher starting position might help this as well.